Welcome to today's transmission of the Ministry of Assumption Absolute. My name is Lucien Francois Mateo St. James, and I'm here to encourage you in knowing with empowered conviction the truth of your transcendent divinity. Thank you for co-creating this moment with me. These transmissions are brought to you by and are courtesy of the Electric Temple. Today's channeled song, the song that came to mind as I was pressing record for today, is Once in a Lifetime by the Talking Heads. Go listen to that. It's definitely conducive to manifestation state of the wish fulfilled. The same as it ever was, the same as it ever was. Everything that you have and that you manifest will always be the same as it ever was, which means you have to give yourself something different. I'm going to adjust the angle here. It's a bit high for me. You're going to have to give yourself something different than you already have and stop relying on the evidence of your senses to dictate to you what the new limit of your space of perception is. Because the more that you base your sense of self and your sense of what's possible on what you've seen, the more enslaved, the more trapped, and the more hopeless you will be, because you are basing the power of your I am, because you are the all that is. You're an individualized expression of the total absolute of source consciousness of everything. But you're experiencing that in limitation, obviously, because we're housed here in this meat suit. So you've acquired an awareness that has a specific focus, and that specific focus comes with particular paradigms of thought or belief systems that then are categorized by emotional fields of resonance, emotional tones of resonance that then create a field, and that's what you're experiencing. But you can change that absolutely at any moment. So definitely listen to that song, the same as it ever was. You'll only get what you have more of. You'll only get more of what you already have here currently. And a lot of times you're trying to manifest a specific thing because we're trying to outrun fear. We're trying to outspend poverty. We're trying to outfuck loneliness. We're trying to create a positive effect because we feel that because our energetic space of origin is all of this low vibrational negative shit, and the only thing that's going to come out of that is more negative shit. If you try to go date because you're lonely, you're going to find somebody who makes you lonely. So you have to give yourself a new thing. And here's the key here is that you're already everything. So you just have to tune the signal of your thoughts and your energetic tones of resonance to the frequency that will manifest in vibration of whatever it is that it might be. But it's really not about the stuff. It's really not about the person. When you can tune yourself to a vibration of love abundant based on the thoughts that you're feeding yourself and the emotional experiences that you've now invested with intention time into, you now know how to sit with yourself. You're now not scrolling to escape some negative emotion. You've worked on regulating your nervous system. It's not that you have to do these things in order to heal, but if you can't sit with yourself, and if you're always on edge, and if you're always checking your phone and waiting on the email and fixated on what somebody else is doing because what they're doing is then going to have something to do with what you're doing, and you're trying to prevent them from experiencing a certain emotion so that that doesn't impact your day. I mean, what can come out of that is more stress, is more fear, is more irritation, because that's what you're in harmony with. You don't unmanifest, and I learned this specifically, you don't heal by manifesting your way or by thinking your way out of the sickness. you realize you were already healed in the first place. You were already whole. I didn't prepare specific scriptures. I didn't prepare a sermon today, because if you notice, I do points of view, and I do transmissions, and this is going to be more of a point of view, and I do lectures and sermons. So this one's less formalized, of course, but there are many places in the Bible where Yeshua is pointing to the fact that, like, you were already healed. Or a lot of what Yeshua was saying is, when people ask him, well, hey, can you heal me, or can you do this thing? And he asked them to say, well, do you believe it can be done? Or who do you say that I am? What he's asking them is, do you see the divinity in yourself? Because if you could see the divinity in me, you can only see that which you're in resonance with. You can only see yourself. We can only ever see ourselves. So when we were able to look at Jesus and say, Jesus was the divine, Jesus was God, the people that agreed with that, because a lot of the Bible follows the story of the fact that a lot of people, the Pharisees and, society, politics at large, did not, I mean, that's what they murdered Jesus for, was walking around saying, you're the Son of God. So when he asked people, that tried to heal, that were like, hey, can I get some of that healing? And he asked them, who do you say that I am? He's asking them, do you see the divinity that you can witness within yourself through me? Because that's the point. And if you can see that you're already whole, it's already here. You don't have to get anything. You don't manifest wealth out of poverty. Like, I'm going to think about all these rich thoughts because I feel that, because I'm concerned about my bills, or, whatever thoughts would be in harmony with poverty. The thoughts that are in resonance with wealth is the fact that it was all already here, that abundance is already here, that plenty is already here. You don't need to get it to be in resonance with it. You have to realize that you already have it, the same as it ever was. Things will always be the same as they ever were. You'll only get more of what you already have. Where did the days go by? Watch that. It's a fun one. Sometimes what I have to say is fully inspired by music, and I mean, I'm a postmodernist. I am built of the signal of everything that has ever rung a bell for me. I am not a person. I am an entity. I am a presence. I am made of other stuff. So sometimes the ministry messages are there'll be sermon deliveries out of a talking head's message, out of a talking head's, liner notes for lyrics. So it will always be the same as it ever was, manifest healing from focusing on a sickness. And now I'm thinking well thoughts. You just realize you were already well. You just realize it was already like the sickness. I mean, it's all a grand illusion. So what are you agreeing to within that illusion? What are you consenting to within yourself? You might see something pop up in your reality. Have you started to align with that as truth? Because if you align with that particular thing as truth, or as true, as real, as relevant, well, now it is. Now it's going to stay, because you're only going to get more of what you already have. And furthermore, by the time that something materializes, it's already dead. It's already dead. So then if you start agreeing with dead things, meaning that it's done, it's already, the meal's cooked. So then if you start agreeing with the truth of things that have already passed, that have already materialized, now you're saying that old belief system that wasn't serving me, that I could take the time to assess, that's not the truth. And now I'm going to create more of that, because every new moment is a new now moment, and I'm creating the present based on that past, which is already dead, done, meal is cooked. And now I'm choosing to trap myself in that, simply because it's the evidence of my senses. You will remain enslaved to the evidence of your senses if you continue relying on them to tell you who you are and what's possible. So you don't begin thinking thoughts of wealth because you see yourself as poor. And this is what I had to be honest with myself about. When I began this journey, I was wanting certain things, and I thought wanting the certain things was the same thing as being them. But the minute that you ask where it is, the minute you're out of harmony with it. Because if you can't already see it within the kingdom within, and you can't already feel it as it is in existence here, right now, then you're out of harmony with it. And what you're out of harmony with, you won't experience. And then if you don't like what you see, look at what you're in harmony with. you're seeing a lot of frustration, anger, and stress. That might not be your natural state right now, especially if you have already started making the shift. But if you are still in the process of understanding the nature of your I am and the nature of your ego 3D meat suit character, and how you are then living in the complication of navigating both of those realities at once, and you're looking around, you're like, I don't know why things are this way. What are you in harmony with? Can you answer that? And we'll all fall out of state, out of the reality of the I am. The I am is the only truth within, and that's what we're seeing in front of us, what we've attached after that, and what what the emotional tones of resonance are, of course. So that's the point of view for today, signing off of this transmission of the Ministry of Assumption Absolute. My name is Lucien Francois Mateo St. James. This message is brought to you by, courtesy of the Electric Temple. And until next time.